Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fasting into Fall with Angela. This is week 11, and we are nearing the end of the fasting into fall, and we're pretty soon going to be fasting into winter. So I did decide to, have this series kind of, trickle into winter and keep on going. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I like that you guys are interested in, kind of what's going on in my life with my diet, exercise, and just all around kind of like, trying to better myself. So week 11, like I said, I brought my little piece of paper here. I am actually recording at a park right now. You guys, we had one of the worst Fridays ever at work. And when I tell you that I had to just get out of my house and like get away and like come to a place like a park or somewhere with trees or whatever, I'm telling you, for 4 hours straight, almost, about 4 hours straight, screaming at the top of the lungs, crying and screaming and crying. I can, my patience is pretty good. I have like a 3 hour though, like limit. And when it goes over the 3 hour limit, that's when I start to get a little bit like it's a little bit too much. So my head is pounding right now. So I do apologize if I seem just a little bit out of sorts, because I am a little bit out of sorts. I went home and I'm like, oh my God, my head is killing me. I'm having like major pressure on top of my forehead. And I'm like, I just have to get out of the house. Like, I have to just leave the house and try to collect my thoughts. Because, like I said, some people don't even have patience for like an hour of crying. This was literally 4 hours nonstop. I feel like I need a nap, like a 20-minute power nap or, something like that. But anyway, where was I going with this? I don't know. I went home, I wrote everything down and said, let me get out of the house and just come to the park. So I am recording at the park right now. But anyway, okay, week 11. So this week, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to lose a little bit more weight this week than I have in past weeks. But this week I lost 3.2 pounds. And that gives me a total, since I started this on May 25th of 2024, a total of 61.2 pounds that I have lost so far. So I'm happy about that. I really did, try my damnedest to stay on plan. I didn't overeat. There were times this week where I wanted to overeat, but I did not go over my calorie count. And I also worked out every single day this week for at least 10 minutes. I made time to put on a YouTube video. I don't think I walked it all this week. I may have walked last weekend. I may have gone for a walk. I can't remember, but I put on a YouTube video and did a 10 to 15 minute, like after eating workout video, and got that in. Made me feel great. Sometimes if you're having like a lot of stress in your life or whatever, working out or getting outside or whatever just really, really helps out. So that was good. But like I said, there were 2 times during the week where I literally just felt like I wanted to binge. Like I was craving caramels. Really wanted caramels from TJ Maxx. I was craving carbs, like bread, like buttered bread, like warm buttered bread with like something with gravy and bread on the side. I was just really craving those carbs, and I don't know why. And I didn't give in. And reason being is I had a light bulb go off, which doesn't happen often in this brain, but a light bulb went off. And it was so interesting. So Again, I was on TikTok, mindlessly scrolling, something I should not be doing. But I'm glad I was this day and this time because I was scrolling through my videos, only the people that I followed, not like, so I guess not mindlessly scrolling, but still scrolling nonetheless. And I came across a TikTok of this guy that I follow. He's lost a lot of weight. And he was talking about binging. And it just so happened that I had just kind of gone through like my first binge of the week where I really wanted to binge. And I said, no, I'm not going to. And I said to myself at that time, let's wait your half hour. Are you really hungry? Or is this your body saying that you want to binge because you're stressed out or whatever? So I was happy I was doing that because, like I said, I was scrolling through TikTok and I noticed this video, and I'm going to play the video here. I hope I don't get demonetized. I don't think I will. But here is the video of the man who literally had a light bulb go off in my brain.
The subconscious shift that makes you thin. There is a subconscious shift that once you make it, it almost guarantees that you're going to lose weight. And what it is how you think about food. Typically, when we think about food, we're thinking about the consumption of it. We're thinking about having it, eating it, swallowing it, eating it some more. And that's the movie we make. And so when we think about the consumption, we increase desire for it. And then if we don't get that food or say no to it, then we feel deprivation. So this is why a lot of people struggle to eat the right foods, because they're locked in this way of thinking about it. So there's a natural subconscious shift you can make that instantly decreases the desire you have for food. And all you need to do is play that movie you're making out a little bit longer to the consequence phase, because there's always a consequence that follows the eating we do, a physical, mental, and emotional one. So instead of just focusing on eating the food, play that movie out an extra 10 minutes to when you're done eating. How do you feel physically, mentally, emotionally? Physically, do you feel full? Mentally, are you happy with yourself? Do you think of yourself as a thin, healthy person, or do you feel different? And mentally, do you feel inspired and excited by what you ate, or do you feel depressed and frustrated? So as you start to shift your subconscious focus on food from the consumption to the consequence that follows, you're going to take control of your weight.
Okay, so you guys watched the video. And I guess basically the light bulb that went off in my brain is, while you're feeling that feeling of needing to eat, of ravenously needing to eat, like let's stuff the face, let's cheat, let's eat a whole bunch of cheese, let's, you get that feeling of, and all I can really explain it as like a tense, overwhelming feeling that you get, that you just need to eat. You don't need to eat, but you just, you need it. You need it deep down in your soul. You need a piece of chocolate cake, or, caramels, or the breads, or even binging healthy food. Even if you know that you've, eaten your calories for the day, but you're not really hungry. You're not really hungry. You want to binge. You want to eat that naughty food. So what I took from that video was, instead of thinking about how I'm feeling right now, how I'm feeling this very moment, my body is in stress. My body is, viciously needing this. Instead of thinking and focusing all of my energy on that, I need to focus my energy on how I feel after that. How do I feel after that binge? Because that is when the true guilt comes. All of the feelings that you get, like he said, physically, emotionally, mentally. There are so many different feelings and symptoms, that you get. So instead of focusing on that urge, that, overwhelming urge that, you just want to open up the fridge and see what's in there and see what you can, stuff in your face. Think about what you feel like after it happens, a half an hour after it happens, later that night after it happens, or the next morning after it happens. Because I feel like that is That's the true reason why I don't binge anymore. Obviously, all the health reasons or whatever, but the feeling that you get after that binge is probably the lowest feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. It's like, it's so horrible. I did write down all of the emotions that I feel. I brought my glasses with me because you guys know I'm going through it. She's going through it. So physically, I put down that I feel like I crash. I feel like I crash physically even 30 minutes after, like right beforehand, you get excited, like, oh my God, I'm going to eat something. I'm going to eat the cheese. I'm going to eat the cake. I'm going to eat, the pizza. I'm going to eat. And you're like all hyped up and like a little bit nervous and almost like an alcoholic, right? Or a drug addict, because we are essentially addicted to food. So I get kind of like jittery or whatever, but then after, like I said, half an hour later, an hour later, I crash. I get so exhausted. I get so tired. I have sluggish, tired. Sometimes my stomach aches. Sometimes I get backed up because I ate too much cheese, or I will go the other way, because my stomach ache or whatever. So instead of, thinking about the gratification that you would get from that binge, I later on in the week when I wanted to binge again, I thought, you know what, I'm going to think about these things that I wrote down, and it worked. I thought about how I would feel physically, emotionally and mentally also, but mentally I have down here that I get depressed, that I let myself down. I just have a feeling of overall feeling gross about myself, that I want to hide, that I don't want to go out. I'm a failure. I fucked up, once again, we're going down the rabbit hole, blah, blah, blah. Emotionally, I put down that I feel guilty, stressed, and ashamed. Definitely the shame portion of it, I feel, is the one that's like the most heightened. Is you just feel ashamed, you gave in to the binge, and it's just a horrible feeling. If you guys have ever done something like that before, or if you have, like an eating disorder, or even like gambling too, right? People with, gambling problems, like you get so excited right afterwards, but then when it happens, after it happens and, you lose money or whatever, it's like, man, I fucked up again, So the next time, like I said, I wanted to binge, I thought about all those things. Where my mind went to, my mind really didn't go to the physical feelings that I would feel after the binge. My mind actually went to the guilt and the shame. So that's what I thought of first. And I thought, I know how low that feeling is. And is me eating this cheese or the sweets or whatever and binging on it and losing control over it, is it worth feeling that guilt and that shame the next day or later on today? And immediately I was like, no, it's not. It's not worth it. That's not worth it to me. So yeah, it was really interesting, that you can have kind of these aha moments, right? With just a 30-second video on TikTok. It's interesting, but it worked for me. So I did save that video on my TikTok so I can like go back to it and like refresh myself, and it can work with other aspects of life as well. It doesn't have to be binging. It could just be, anything. Like maybe you're a chronic arguer with people and you like getting into fights, and, you could say to yourself, hey, if I open up my mouth, is this worth the way I'm going to feel later on, when I should have just shut the fuck up and not said anything, But I also wanted to talk to you guys about something else. So I'm still having a little bit of the issue with filming on a Friday, this series, filming on a Friday, uploading on a Saturday. And when I film on a Friday, I think to myself, ooh, I lost like, a little over 3 pounds. I can enjoy myself on Friday. I can enjoy myself on Saturday. I don't need to count shit, right? So I'm having that issue where the weekends are kind of getting away from me. They were in the past. I had mentioned it. I was doing better. And now I'm getting these feelings of, Angela, just relax, but relax a little bit too much. So I'm thinking when I start recording fasting into winter with Angela, which is going to be a long motherfucking winter, because in Wisconsin, we're actually still having fall weather. It's beautiful outside, but it is going to be a long winter. I was thinking about putting the video up on Monday and recording it on a Sunday. I just feel like at least I wouldn't feel so free on the weekends that I could, get away with a few extra calories or whatever, instead of treating the weekends like I treat the weekdays. So what do you guys think about that? I think it would be good for me to switch that. But it's just, something that kind of popped into my brain this morning on my way to work. And I thought, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I have been rambling a little bit too much. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend ahead. This video is going up on Saturday. Tomorrow will be my weekend vlog. And yeah, then everything should be back to normal. And then we will get to week 12. Maybe a 13? I don't know. How does this go? 1, 2. Yeah, probably a 13 weeks. And then we'll start December. The first week of December, we will start the fasting into winter with Angela. But I hope you all have a great day. God bless. Leave your comments down below and let me know if you guys have had any aha moments or if this has helped you out a lot. And leave suggestions also for different kind of topics that you guys want me to talk about. Okay, have a good one. Bye, guys.